Hi friends, in this tutorial we're going to learn how to add some little accents to our lanterns with oil pastel. So first of all, I just want to clear up that we're not going to be using the oil pastels to color large areas of our lanterns, all right? So I don't want to see anyone, doing a whole area like this and blending it or anything like that. Accents are designed just to be, or are really meant to just be little areas that just add a little pop and a little emphasis to enhance your design. So if we take a look at this example that I did, I kept with my same color scheme. So I chose complementary as my color scheme, which we've learned is two colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So I used red and green, and remember that can also include the lighter or darker versions of that color like pink or burgundy. And I'm also allowing myself to use a little bit of green oil pastel and different shades of that to kind of allow it to pop too. So the first thing you want to do is when you get your oil pastels, you also want to have a paper towel with you, because sometimes oil pastels can have what I call goobers on them. Now this is a very nice new one, but let's say this had a bunch of blue and black on it. You would just take the oil pastel and give it a little twist, and it cleans it right up. And this is something that you can do as you're working as well. But please don't use your paper towel to blend. Sometimes I see students taking their paper towel and going like this. That's gonna smudge all of your accents. I'll show you a better way to do a little bit of blending if you'd like to do that. So the oil pastels are great because they're very opaque, which means that they cover really well and are not see-through on top of colored paper. So even if you did like a super dark blue or something, lighter colors will still show up well on it. Now you want to think about some patterns that sort of enhance your windows a little bit. So let's say I wanted to do sort of like a little pattern of ovals around my window. So maybe I'm going to start with some dark greens, and then maybe I'll switch to a red or a pink. And whenever I'm doing patterns, I like to do one color at a time instead of switching back and forth, because it actually is a huge time saver. Sometimes I see students do, like they'll pick up a green oil pastel and they'll make a mark, and then they'll pick up a red, and then they'll rotate red, green, red, green. You can do that, but I just feel like it's a huge waste of time. So now that I have this on here, I can choose to keep it simple like this, or if you'd like to take any of this a step further, you can also do a little bit of highlighting in there. So you can make it look almost like gems. So you could take like a white and add a little highlight on there as well. You can also add some elements that look like larger, gems or pieces of jewelry, which we would see on really ornate or really fancy lanterns from places like Morocco. I know when we looked at lanterns, we looked at some in countries in the Middle East. So for something like this, I could maybe take a red, do a little tiny bit of blending, keeping it inside that circle as best I can, and then I can do some pink to create a lighter value, and then I can do a little bit of white to add a highlight on there, and now it kind of looks almost like a gem. And then I can even take some of my green and I can make it almost like it's a little setting for the gem. So that's the little metal part that kind of holds it, and you could make that, very fancy if you wanted to. You could make it plain. You can also think about filling some of these areas with designs. And really anything, it doesn't have to be things that look like gems or jewelry. Anything that's, you know, simple and a little abstract or anything like that can be really beautiful. Even just like, you know, swirls or things like that can just add some accents and visual interest to this. So you're going to do this on all 4 of your windows. They can be all the same or all different. That's totally up to you. And then your final step would be just to fold, which is our final video.